Good morning, everyone. Today is Friday, February 27th. So we are meeting in the remote. This is the Ad hoc Committee. So I'm here joining by my colleague Sarah Braden and Director Ambironi, Jennifer Brady, and our Senior Director of Finances, Lesa Beck. So I think we can go ahead and start. So if can we share the agenda if someone has it? 'Cause Lisa, you think you have the agenda or
Can get it. I'm also going to move over board member Noor.
okay, great.
Yeah. I know I had to restart my computer at like 8:40 or 7:45 this morning, and yeah,
Yes.
it's a
Yeah,
day for
yeah,
technology.
exactly. Me too. So I didn't have the agenda in front of me, so that's the issue. All right. So, but I know what we have to talk about it today. So can we do? Perfect. There you go. So just want to go to the summary, what we spoke last week. I think Lisa, she made a great overview of a draft of the RFP. So we heard last week about the legal review and the creation of the RFP and everything about the newspaper, advertising or website, and also some other deadline, like a time frame about 4 weeks for a vendor to respond. So we have reviewed the proposal and then we also went to the evaluation criteria. So today, what we like to do is really mapping and discussing around some elements to the statement. Then Lisa, she's going to move with us and we can just go ahead and start. So Jennifer, you are welcome to come and join anytime you feel like we have to adjust anything. So Lisa, please
Yes,
take
so
it from here.
Jen Brady and myself actually put together this draft RFP that we had shared with you last Friday
Okay.
that incorporates all of the feedback from our last meeting discussion.
Lisa, please, can you zoom a little bit? It's too little. We can, I don't know, maybe me, I have already glasses, but I can barely see. Perfect. Yes, sounds good. Thank you.
So has the board had a chance to review the draft of this RFP? Or Yeah, so I read through it. Oh, I'm so sorry.
Yeah, go ahead,
Nirvana,
go.
yeah.
Yeah. Yes, go
Yeah.
ahead. Sorry.
Sorry about that, just for jumping in. So I read through it and I think it does a really good job of incorporating the things that we had talked about in terms of functionally what we want to accomplish, and what we want to get out of these proposals to move the work forward. There were a couple of things that I jotted down. There was a section on targeted engagement, and I think Jen, you had made a note about leveraging some existing engagement activity. And I think that would be a great thing to try and figure out how we can wordsmith because, like, I do think that engagement is and sort of gathering feedback from the community is really, really important. And I would like to see us select a proposal that highlights a vendor's ability to do that. But if there's already activities going on, I don't think they need to recreate the wheel just for the sake of saying, see, we can do this independently. I think that, if there are already engagement opportunities happening within the district, I would be perfectly happy to see them leverage that and take the content out of that they can and incorporate it in their work. And then the other thing that I was thinking it would be great to discuss in this conversation was around the timing of when we
Yes.
want the proposals to come in, because that means we have to review them. And I'm just sort of like, there's certain times of year that the capacity for this review work would be
Mm.
diminished. I don't think it would be, I want to make sure that we're setting ourselves up for success because a lot of the people that are going to be reviewing these proposals will also be in budget work.
Right.
So I want to make sure that, they're not happening right at the same time. And then also when we want the selected vendors' work to wrap up and making sure that we leave enough time but not draw it out too long. And so that's what I made notes of. And I'll stop talking.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Board Brian. And yeah, something that I just want to emphasize on this, on the, I think, if we go back to the engagement and sense making, I think, and I think what I want to really see reflecting is that how diverse, I mean, on the way they do the methodology. I think that's really important to those engagement. So we really need to see a vendor who already done some in the national or locally with diversity. So that's exactly what I want to see reflecting on this proposal as well. So especially when you engage the diversity, you have to have some tools so you can collect the right feedback. So this is something when I read, I feel like we have to include it.
Okay.
I just want to welcome Broad Noor. It has been a long time. I hope you're doing good. So if you have a chance to go over the proposal, you have something to add, you are welcome. Yes.
It looks like Board Nor needs to be moved over.
Oh,
She can't
yeah.
speak.
All right. Trying it again. Hopefully that worked. Nope.
Hi everyone, can you guys hear me okay? Oh,
A little
Yes.
blurry, but
oh.
Yes, good.
Yes. Thank you. Sorry, I had to connect on my phone and then connect back on my computer. Wasn't working this morning.
Okay.
But yes, I agree with everything said so far. I would just push on the cultural competency when it comes to community engagement. As long as we have that, I think that's one of the main aspects. And then timing, I had a question for the last part of what you mentioned. Would that be how long the process takes for once we find a vendor?
So yeah, so what I meant was the two components of when the proposals have to come in and get reviewed, which looks like it's like the April. I saw some April stuff and I was like, oh, that's probably gonna be very busy with the
Yeah.
budget. But then also at the end, I saw June of 2027 for the vendor to wrap up their work and just thinking, I mean, maybe that's the right amount of time, maybe it's too long, maybe it's too short, but just wanted to have a conversation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
So
oh
go
yes.
ahead. Go ahead.
For the vendor aspect, I'd love to hear from the vendors how long they also think it would take because they're used to this type of work. So that could also be a component in who we choose on how fast they think they can do it and what kind of processes they'd take. I'm not sure. Does that make
Yeah.
sense?
Yes, it does. Just to make sure then, we don't get trapped to the business side or the vendor, because asking that question, it kind of sometimes tricky. So they say, okay, we can do as fast as you want us to do just to get the business. So I think can we just be open at that time, and when we pick the correct one, the right vendor, we can now working on the time frame to see, okay, this is our expectation. So I don't know if we have to put a memo on that. Can you hear me?
Yes, yeah.
If we have to put a memo, maybe for that. So if we feel like, okay, next, like a 2027, especially around the budget season, but around, I don't know, maybe the end of the year, like November this year, this is something then we want to see at least some recommendation coming to us before we go for the winter break. So I don't know, maybe early January, so we don't go to the budget season, because it's gonna be, overlapping, and it's gonna be a lot of to go forward. So I don't know what you guys are thinking.
Were you, to clarify, when you said like November, were you thinking about that being when the proposals would come in, or were you talking about November, either of this year or next year, being a time frame for the whole endeavor to wrap up?
For November this year, at least the whole work to come out. So, I mean, when I see the way the vendor goes, if I remember the last time, I mean, it takes about 4 weeks at least. So at least we have then we have enough time around until November to find the vendor and us to review the proposal and to select the right ones. And then I think November they can come with some big picture about how they're going to move forward, and then they can take to 2027.
Yeah.
Or maybe having the general one. It's just going to see the speed of the engagement, the way they want to, the methodology of engaging the community and collecting some of the information and data, and also to put together, because we cannot forget that we are 2 months in summer, then we are gone for break, for vacation, so it just depends. So yeah.
So I have a question. Actually, I think this is more for Lesa and Jen. So when proposals come in, there's a period of time where, there's review and selection, and then I'm curious about how long it generally takes for contract negotiations. So let's say proposals are, have to come in by the end of April. I'm not suggesting that's the right time, but like for a hypothetical. And then like we review them and we make a selection by the end of May. When would we function, like realistically be able to expect that like we've selected and we've negotiated the contract terms and we've executed the contract and like work is starting? How much time should we plan for that?
Yes, generally 2 to 3 weeks is what you want to plan. Most consultants have well-defined form of contract that they want to use, and so it's just a matter of getting our legal to review and ensuring that they've incorporated the terms that we require. So it generally goes within about 2 weeks. The work cannot begin until July 1st, given we're budgeting in FY27.
Okay. And a July 1st start date, really, I mean, we would need to be getting proposals in by like the middle of May.
Yes.
Okay. But the work doesn't have to start on July 1. It just can't start before July 1.
That's correct.
All right. Go ahead, Brandon.
Yeah, I was just going to say, I mean, I think that I'm just thinking about the budget process, and based on last year and the previous year, it feels like May does slow down a little bit, as long as it tracks with what happened last year. So I'm just also, if for some reason the budget doesn't pass in June, then things are going to get real busy again. In response to that, I'm not saying that will or will not happen, but just wanting to sort of like think about all the different scheduling components that could make this messy. And just curious about also like what your thoughts are on whether we would functionally even be able to, like, whether we would have the capacity in late April, May, early June to do the review of the proposals that come in the selection process.
Yeah. So what do you think, Lesa? So before you answer, I just want to add a little bit what both Brandon just mentioned. And I think do we have any options, in case we have to pull to get still on the budget, like she mentioned, and then do we have some options to move that one little further, like instead to go, because we break on July, early August, we can have the proposal and then review the proposal and then have them, sign the contract, and then they can start be on the work. So what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, if you want to put the work on the other side of summer, you can definitely do that. You want to plan 4 weeks for the proposals to come in, but then you want to probably plan 2 to 3 weeks after that to review the proposals, to interview candidates. If you choose to do that, you're not required, but we have it in RFP that you can interview candidates, which we generally do recommend interviewing like your top candidates, and then making your selection. So that process with the scheduling of the interviews and whatnot can take about 2 to 3 weeks. So if you want the work to start in September, you just want to have proposals in really by like the beginning of August to give yourself that month to do that work.
Okay.
But then we'd be thinking about the deliverables would come maybe then by May 27.
Yeah.
That's what okay. Just trying to think about what do you want and by when?
Yes.
As the final to plan backwards from that. So, okay.
Yeah. Because I don't want further investigation to be rushed. I really want them to be deepened, because this is just the occasion we have for civil rights. So, I mean, that's exactly what we've been looking for years. So we have the opportunity to go for it and making right. So I think what you just mentioned about the deliverable, I mean, moving that one to May, because May kind of a little slow down also on that specific on the budget side. So I think he's gonna be so comfortable for most of us. Yeah, I think we're gonna still be there. Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah. No. I was just thinking aloud. Go ahead.
Yeah, no,
brother.
totally. So I have another question for, I think this is a staff question again, in terms of that deliverable, like, when the work is going to be all, delivered to us. Is it to our, like, a couple minutes ago, we were talking about different vendors having different approaches to that and some working faster. And, is it feasible to say we want to have the deliverables done and provided to us no later than X date, but we invite proposals to outline a faster time frame? And then
yes, it is feasible. And in fact, that's the way we've written it into their RFP right now. We've asked that they provide their methodology with a proposed timeline. The end date that I put in the draft was June 30th, 2027, because we can't go later than that given we're using 2027 funds, but you could absolutely choose an alternate date for when you want it completed. That's just the far boundary.
Okay.
So, I mean, I'd be so interested, Chair Bondo and Board Member Noor, what you think about requesting that the deliverables come in late winter, early spring of 27, so that we can at least take a look at them before budget season really gets.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. Yes.
And it may be, well, that might be something to be able to work out with the vendor. Like, could we have a draft so we know what it is we need to be budgeting for next year? Where, of course, community engagement takes time. So we don't want to rush that. But yeah, I think from a vendor hat, where I've spent my previous life, I think that's reasonable to ask for a draft of deliverables by, around budget season.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So that's good. All right. Are we comfortable with that? All right. All right, Lesa, we can keep going, please.
All right. I will make those updates on the timing. I do want to circle back to Member Bryden's question around the engagement opportunities. So Jen Brady, I don't know if you can speak to that, whether
Yeah.
in the line.
So I resolved the comment that was in the draft because the some of the engagement opportunities that maybe were happening are on pause right now. So I think we do want to invite the vendor to click into existing things. So if we do have, I know you all have board member uh, community engagement and staff engagement. So there might be an opportunity for them to feed into that, or maybe other things that are happening in the district. But the one that I was thinking of is on pause. So, but I do think that's something we should invite them to do rather than scheduling something completely separate. That because then that puts us down the timeline of scheduling, coming up with a space, overextending people. So getting focus group fatigue or survey fatigue if they're already participating in a community engagement activity with you all, then I think it would make sense to invite the vendor to be part of that or part of shaping those things so that we're not trying to do too much. I think people are at least my sense so far, like we feel over surveyed, over, just kind of over engaged in some ways. But we can't not do it. We need to, this is it. We need to invite. So does that help?
I think so for me, and also like I agree 1,000%. Yeah, there's only so many surveys you can fill out. There's only so many meetings you can go to. I'm curious about like ways to, again, like if we're already getting a ton of feedback and information from people through these other, like, how can we ask a vendor to basically say, if you need to like do a new survey or a new, that's great, but also we have all these other things, please use that bucket of information
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
review it as well, because people have already taken the time to share their thoughts. So I would love to see them functionally prove that they can do that as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think also we have to give them some open window to build some different capacity if they have to, because we may have some already done, like you just said, Jennifer, is that we don't have to creating something new, but they have some spaces where they can say, okay, this is something in our methodology. We feel like, okay, that those missing technique or those mechanisms, we can add a few things, but no duplicate what we already done, but they can use the platform then we have as a foundation for them to start moving and collect some information and adding some plus if they have to. Okay, like a different outreach. How we got some diversity and different community outreach, because some of the ways that we're doing cannot be the same way they want to approach. So I think that window space is really important. So we can see different methodology of reaching out people or building, facilitating the engagement so people can be comfortable and start sharing information and also their thoughts. I don't know, what you're thinking, because before we move forward.
Yeah, I agree. I would like to see if there's anything they would like to add on top of um our data and our methods. But that could be a part of the vendor search process, and we could look into those aspects and see which one we like best.
Exactly. Agreed. Okay, so I think we have a big picture now how we want to move forward. I don't know, Lesa, if we have something then you want us to, or Jennifer, something then you want us to go again to, because I read that and I feel really comfortable. Plus those additions we just mentioned. I don't know about my other colleagues. How do you feel?
I agree. Yeah.
Okay. So Lesa, from now, what are next steps from your expertise?
Yeah, so we will incorporate the feedback we just discussed into the draft. But then if the goal is to have proposals come in early August, we would be on we would want to have this reviewed by our legal, just for them to make sure they're keeping us safe. So we will have them review the document and give us their feedback, and then we'll need to review any feedback that did come from the legal counsel. But at that point, then we would be waiting to publish in the newspaper. We would want to send the publication out 5 weeks ahead of when we want proposals to come in. So that would put us in late June. And so we would be waiting to publish in the newspaper until then, once we have this ready to go.
Okay. I just want to get a sense. So from now, so you're going to put everything together, and who's going to review? Is need to come back to us again to review that after you done the final version by incorporating everything? Need to come back to us, right, as a committee, and then when we say ready to go, so that's the time you can do all the process, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Can I ask a
Right.
quick follow-up question about the timing?
Yes,
So know
please.
that, our meetings pause in July, and they're, like the right around 4th of July, the district is closed. I'm curious about whether we could have a submission deadline for vendors in July, because, their work's not slowing down
Right.
in July, and that might, but I don't want to put us in a situation where there would be staff work required to take in those proposals at a time when I don't want to be adding work in July if staff is not expected to be doing a lot of this work. But I also want to take advantage of the fact that it might be a higher capacity time, for some folks, but just wanting to better understand that time of year.
Sure. Once we publish it, it's usually quiet, other than questions from vendors, right? And so generally what we do is we'll actually put in a deadline in the RFP for questions to come in, and then we answer the questions all at once via an addendum to the proposal. Because any answer we give to one vendor, we must give to all. So generally 2 weeks into the proposal window, we'll have that due date for questions, and we'll answer the questions, and then they'll have 2 more weeks to finalize their proposals. Excuse me. So, but the finance team works year round, so we would be available in July to do that work.
Okay.
Can I?
Yeah.
Yes.
Is there any reason why we couldn't invite proposals to start coming sooner? I mean, I have just in the back of my mind, I'm wondering if we might get a whole lot of proposals here because of the state of the world, and because of the number of consultants who do this kind of work and who have not been who have not had a lot of work that they're hired for right now. They're looking for RFPs. And so this RFP is going to come up, and I think it's potential that we could get a whole lot of vendors proposing. And then what? Do we want to give more space for that, or do we want to limit the space of time so that we can kind of, I don't know your recommendation, Lesa, or your preferences, board members. I'm just trying to think if we get a whole lot, then that might shift our timelines.
I mean, you could definitely increase it beyond the 4 weeks. That's the minimum that we are legally required to give, is the 4 weeks. But we can certainly do longer. I wouldn't necessarily recommend doing too long, now to August feels like too much time, and I think it could be easily lost in the shuffle. I will tell you, we almost never get proposals before the due date. Almost every proposal comes on the due date.
Okay. Yeah. So I think we're in the good shape. I feel like I'm comfortable with the frame. Then we're moving forward, because like you just mentioned, people, because they are so hungry to go with those kind of work right now, I think they're going to bite more quicker. And then we're going to be on the time frame to get some proposal and have us to review that and to have a better selection. So I think I feel comfortable because, I don't know. Bob Bryden, I know, what do you feel like? I think when we are really a great time frame is really going to get to us faster to the process than getting longer. More we're getting longer, we may receive tons and tons of proposal vendors, then we won't be able to go through and really take a time to select the good ones. Yeah, because it's going to be just a lot.
Yeah, I agree.
And a quick
All
question.
right. Yes, no.
For the review process, I know we mentioned it was about 2 weeks to review the different vendors. Do we have like an ultimate deadline for that, or are we just giving ourselves the 2 weeks?
Oh, like, could we give ourselves 3 weeks?
Yeah, could we do
example?
more? Could we do less? Probably not less if we're getting a lot.
Yeah.
Yes, you are in control of that timeline, so you can take more time. I think you have to balance that against the fact that they may be bidding other work as well. And so if we draw it out too long, they may commit themselves and may have then need more time to get it done. So generally we try to keep it in that 2 to 3 week space.
Okay. All right. Sounds good. Okay. So I think both No and Brandon, what do you feel about us scheduling so we can leave Lisa and Jennifer to go and making the final version of our proposal and bring it back to us to review? So can we meet next week? So for you, Lisa and Jennifer, so all the next week you'll be comfortable to do it so we can review that next Friday if everything is possible?
Can I ask a clarification question? I want to
Yes,
make
good.
sure that yeah. So are you suggesting that we meet at 8 o'clock on Friday, March 6th to review the finalized proposed RFP document? And then if we need as a committee to vote on moving it forward, basically saying like, yes, this is what we want it to look like. Staff, go ahead and do all the steps. Is that what you're? Yeah.
Yes, exactly. Yes.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Mhm. So Lisa and Jennifer, so you feel comfortable for that?
Yes, we can make these changes.
Okay, great. Okay. So I think we're good for next Friday, same time, at 8, so we can review the final version and give a go for the staff to move forward. I'm so excited. Okay. So I think we are done. If any other comments and any questions for clarification or the way both Bryden and both know. All right. So there we go. Okay, I will make a motion to adjourn our meeting today.
Second.
Okay, great. So we are in favor, right? There you go. All right, we adjourned at
Thank
8:40.
you.
8:41, guys. Have a nice weekend and take care of yourself. I see you tomorrow, Saturday, anyway.
That's
Okay.
right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Bye.
All right. Bye-bye. Bye. Bye.